Today's the 25th anniversary of the end of the First Gulf War, and a monument's been dedicated at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire to remember the 47 people who died in the conflict. And there was also a line engraved on the memorial which speaks of those still fighting battles as a result of that war. Emma Nelson has the story.
47 British servicemen died during the First Gulf War. Today, 1,000 people came to remember them. When Britain joined the coalition of 34 countries to drive Saddam Hussein's troops out of Kuwait, the world's military had been unused to combat in the desert. Today, the men who fought and flew in that short war were reunited.
31 years ago today, believe it or not, I was graduating on a foggy morning at Royal Air Force Cranwell, and then just a few short years later, as a young flying officer about to become flight lieutenant, I found myself in the Gulf. It was unexpected, it was rapid, and it was incredibly exciting. It's been, as I said, very gratifying to see so many people here. One or two old colleagues, which is great to see, whom I haven't seen for a number of years, and great as ever that you immediately click and you're friends once more.
Today, all of us have a part to play in the conclusion of this journey. It's pretty magnificent, isn't it?
All but one of their families have been found, and they made it here today after what was described as 4 years of hard work, fundraising and campaigning. Everything from the design process to finding the £75,000 it cost to build, they've done themselves. The money came from you, your hard work, and from the Kuwaitis. What do you think the government or what any official British contribution could have done for you?
They could have helped us out more on a financial basis. The money is there. What we were told in the main is that the money's not there for memorials. It's there to help the wounded, to help the sick, which we appreciate. But at the end of the day, it needs something like this. So the families know that they are being thought of and they have a central place to go, and now they can do it together.
And this is a memorial with a strong message. The three pillars stand for the three parts of the armed services. But in the centre there's an inscription in English, Latin and Arabic. It's not just for those who died during Operation Granby itself, but it brings attention to the long-term effects experienced by those with Gulf War syndrome.
I think it should be there. I think it should be there to remember, to remind people. We're always going on about remember the war, First World War, Second World War. They were great wars. It's the little wars after that that affect other people that nobody knows about. It takes things like guys flying back, it being on the TV to understand that, you know, their dead bodies coming home.
Norman Week's son Kevin died when his tornado crashed in the desert. He now has somewhere to come to remember him.
I should probably come back well, I will come back when the sun is out in the summer, when all the trees got their leaves and the flowers.
The First Gulf War has been described as the forgotten conflict, but today in the cold, a quarter of a decade on from the heat of the Kuwaiti desert, there was an abundance to remember. Emma Nelson, Forces News, at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire.